In this video, I look at appeal decisions that follow the letter of the law. It doesn't matter how tiny your wall or roof is, if it exists, it's subject to the planning laws. This bungalow had a main hipped roof plus a smaller hipped roof above a small side extension. You can see it here. The appellant applied for a lawful development certificate, an LDC, to remove the chimney and to add a side dormer window in this location. Council rejected the application on the basis of B1C, which says that no development can extend beyond the plane of any existing roof slope which forms the principal elevation of the dwelling house and fronts a highway. The appeal inspector agreed with the council that the front elevation was the principal elevation, and that it included two roof slopes which fronted the highway. As the new dormer would be positioned beyond the plane of the smaller of these roof slopes, it could not be built under permitted development, and the appeal was dismissed. The appellant complained that the decision seemed pedantic, as the effect on the appearance of this part of the roof would be scarcely noticeable, especially when compared with the substantial change the new dormers would have on the house. The inspector's answer was that permitted development order concessions are not concerned with matters of planning merit, or whether any measured failure to comply with a condition or limitation is large or small. In other words, the inspector has no leeway to ignore a roof or wall, no matter how small. We see this in the next three cases also. This semi-detached house has a thin side return wall, and the appellant applied for an LDC to erect a single-storey side extension. There's no dispute that the main elevation of the house is the principal elevation. The question is whether the thin return wall facing the highway should be considered as part of the principal elevation. The inspector said the return wall was part of the principal elevation, despite being thin and set back from the main front wall. As the extension would be in front of this wall, it was not possible to build it under PD rules. The appeal was dismissed. This bungalow had a front projecting garage that left a one brick length of the main front wall on one side of the garage. The appellant applied for an LDC to erect a side extension up to the line of the garage front wall, but the application was refused by the council. Upon appeal, the inspector said that the short wall was part of the principal elevation, and as the extension would be in front of this wall, it was not possible to build it under PD rules. The appeal was dismissed. This white-fronted detached house is the appellant property. The original structure was very similar to the neighbouring property, with a main hipped roof and a smaller hipped roof over a two-storey side extension. Let's switch to a 3D model. Here's the original appellant building. It was later enlarged by converting both hipped roofs to dual pitched roofs, and the remaining section of the smaller hipped roof was left in place. This little bit was left back here. It's very difficult to see from the highway. The appellant then applied for an LDC to erect two side dormers on the larger dual pitched roof. The council refused the application, as the dormers would extend beyond the plane of an existing roof slope which formed the principal elevation of the dwelling house and fronted a highway. Principal elevation is formed from these elements. Both roof slopes front the highway, but this is the slope in question, and this is the plane of that slope. When we add the proposed dormers, we see that they extend beyond the plane of the roof slope. The appeal inspector agreed with the council's decision, and the appeal was dismissed. If you're thinking of pressing the like or subscribe buttons, thank you in advance. Next week's video is the last of this particular series, and I look at mid-terraced properties where you need to decide which side is the principal elevation. Thanks for watching. See you next week.